So, Mr. Secretary, thank you very much. We'll just thank the American government for the invitation to participate in this summit. I think it's a summit that's been long overdue. Today, Russian mercenaries are on our northern border. Burkina Faso has now entered into an arrangement to go along with Mali in employing the Wagner forces there. I believe a mine in southern Burkina has been allocated to them as a form of payment for their services.
If you see me in the streets, better holler at me. Seeking for a beat, throw them dollars at me. I don't like defeat, take that away from me. You tryna be like me, you couldn't handle my story. But we gon' let you know, we gon' let you know. We gon' let you know, we gon' let you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing, man? Hey, it's your boy Mr. J, and I just want to say thank you for tuning in and welcome back to yet another episode, man. And if this is your first time coming through, they call me Jay. I'm a motherlandian living in the diaspora, and I drop vlogs every day about situations in my continent, man, Africa, because I am the son of the soil. Now, if this is your first time coming through, man, and you've never met me before, please help the channel out. Hit that like button, give us that thumbs up, and for $0, man, you can literally be part of the family, and click that notification so that whenever I drop something, you can be notified. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the past couple of months, man, it's been about the fight for the re-independence of African states. What do I mean by re-independence? Yes, I know that some of African states have independence days, but it seems as if those dates was just fake dates because the colonial masters, man, kept some of these neo-colonialists in positions who act like puppets to these Western powers, helping them defraud and steal and pilfer the natural resources in Africa. Now, ladies and gentlemen, several African leaders have been hitting the internet, giving speeches, interview, and some even went to the United Nations General Assembly, the 78th session. They spoke beautifully well, and they spoke like they are there actually for their brothers. They are their brothers' keepers. They spoke like they are Pan-Africanist. They spoke like they would literally stand for the right and to help another African leader who is in trouble, or another African country that is in trouble, to stand on its feet. Well, whereas, ladies and gentlemen, in reality, these people are it's just a camouflage. It's just fake. It's just a means to appear like a good boy in front of the Western colonial masters or the Western powers. Now, we can mention a whole lot of them, but in 2023 in Washington, D.C., man, during the Africa-US Summit, the US-African Summit, somebody sent me a video of the current president of Ghana. And it's a disturbing video, and it's a disgraceful and embarrassing video, because in this video, we see how the disunity amongst African states leads to the easy access for these Western powers, the easy manipulation of these Western powers. Now, if you don't know who I'm talking about President Nana Addo. This man is the president of Ghana, and in the score sheet for the economy of Ghana recently has not been the best. It has not been on top notch. It has not been on an A+ on a positive note, because the Ghanaian economy actually and the currency suffered a whole lot of hits, devaluation, which was only helped with some money coming from the IMF, International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank, which has helped the Ghanaian economy back to some level of equilibrium. But there's still that shakiness in that Ghanaian economy, because there is a law that is being put towards, which if that law passes, of course, the West is going to do to Ghana what they just did to Uganda. You feel me? It's an anti-LGBT bill which is going to criminalize some of these, crazy stuff. But that's not why I'm talking today. I'm talking about the two-faced nature of this Ghanaian president who sat in front of Secretary Blinken and he gave a speech. He said something which you could just, as a true son of the sword, if you are crying to see a complete and total liberation of the African continent, a total departure of the West in some of these African countries, you would shed tears, because this man, although he keeps talking all this ish on other interviews, reparation this, the West this, our resources, but in fact, this man is actually telling on his fellow African leaders. I will play the video for you to listen, and then we come back and we talk more. Listen to this.
Very good occasion, but it's a particularly good occasion because we greatly value Ghana's leadership and your leadership in West Africa, the important efforts on regional security. We're strong partners, including on the UN Security Council, which we greatly value, partners for democracy and security in West Africa. And we greatly appreciate the peacekeeping contributions that Ghana makes, but also just more broadly, your own leadership for peace, for security, for democracy. Many challenges, but we're grateful to actually be facing them together, and really pleased to have you here this week for the summit. So thank you, Mr. President. Appreciate the time.
So, Mr. Secretary, thank you very much. We'll just thank the American government for the invitation to participate in this summit. I think it's a summit that's been long overdue. I believe it's the second. The last time was what, over 10 years ago? Yeah, perhaps we should be doing more. But it's good that it has happened. It gives us an opportunity to talk about many common threats and challenges that we have, which you've identified, and particularly for us, to be able to put into relief where we are. Yesterday I had I was part of an extremely useful meeting with the people from the Congress to come and talk about security matters. I believe that, Madam, you were there, you were part of the meeting. And its significance for us. And I think that beyond everything, that is a matter that I want to urge upon you. Today, Russian mercenaries are on our northern border. Burkina Faso has now entered into an arrangement to go along with Mali in employing the Wagner forces there. I believe a mine in southern Burkina has been allocated to them as a form of payment for their services. Prime Minister of Burkina Faso in the last 10 days has been in Moscow. And to have them operating on our northern border is particularly distressing for us in Ghana. Apart from not accepting the idea of great powers once again making Africa their theater of operation, we have a particular position that you know about over the Ukraine war, where we have been very, very vocal and upfront about condemning the invasion of Russia by Russia. And therefore, then now to have this group at our borders is a matter of some considerable disquiet and concern for us. And we really like to have a privileged opportunity to talk about its implications and what we believe ought to be the case. This is what took place with the discussion in the Congress yesterday, which I found very fruitful. And I would like that the themes of that discussion should be the themes that we should continue to address. To what extent we can have you as a partner in confronting these threats. It is very important that ECOWAS and the West African area remains a democratic space. It's the reason for the actions we took over the coup d'etats in Burkina Faso, in Mali, and in Guinea. And ECOWAS has been very consistent in refusing to deal with these governments because of the undemocratic nature of their accession to power. the commitment to democratic values and institutions is a high priority for our states. We in Ghana have been through all kinds of arrangements, governance arrangements in the past, one-party state, all kinds of experiments have taken place. And our people are now very clear in their mind. They want to go down the avenue of democratic engagement. And that is why the last 30 years of the Fourth Republic have been the most stable in our country's history. We want to do everything to preserve that. But there are enemies of democracy who are working hard in West Africa today. And therefore it's important that we bring that matter to your notice and see to what extent we can engage you as a reliable partner in the pushback of those forces.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear that? Like my Ghanaian people, I don't even know what is going on, but if this man is your president, now I do understand that there have been a whole lot of protests in the streets of Ghana, and a whole lot of people have been calling for him to resign. But look at what a fellow African leader is telling the West about their neighbor. Look at what a fellow African leader who claims to be Pan-Africanist, who claims to be his brother's keeper, is telling the West about their neighbor. Yes, Burkina Faso, they decided to topple a puppet that was put in place through manipulation by France, and this guy was helping them rip off Burkina Faso, and they are trying to realign things. Look at what the Ghanaian president is saying too. Secretary Blinken. Why does it worry you? Why does it worry you? Why weren't you worried when these elections was put in place, these puppets were put in place? Why? Why weren't you worried, Mr. Nana Addo? Why? Ghana, why wasn't this man worried when the Western powers were stealing the resources of this beautiful country, and as they do around countries in the Sahel, the western region of Africa, especially the French colony? Why aren't they worried? And then you will go and tell on your brother, to a Western power that is known to use its allies to place puppets to rip people of their benefits and countries of their benefits. Why won't you be worried at that period? Oh, you just get worried now because you all of a sudden you realize that these countries are not aligning with the countries that you are aligning, are you a master-slave relationship with? What is wrong with Burkina Faso trying to go a different route? What is wrong with that? The status quo has not helped that country, so they are going to the route that will help the country. Some of these insurgencies in these countries were placed there by France, by the West, so that they will use it as motive to be stationed in these countries. Why are you telling on your brother? Where is the love? Where is the Pan-Africanism? Mr. President of Ghana, where is that? I watched a video of you talking about reparation, our goal. So you would say all of these things, but in private, you are telling on your African brothers. If every African leader can understand that the moment that you change or amend the constitution that is beneficial to you or your party, that is a coup, then they will start understanding this whole military thing. I want you to leave a comment. Let me know exactly what you think about the Ghanaian president telling on his African brothers in terms of leadership. What does that tell you about the divided nature of Africans? And then we preach one Africa, brother's keeper, all for one for all. But then we go out to the West and we start telling them, the West, come, we are worried. You need to come in. You need to station. Is this really the spirit of Ubuntu? Is this really the spirit of Ubuntu? Let Mr. J leave your comment, but I'm very, very disappointed in this president. I used to hold you up here, Mr. President, but it's rather unfortunate that you are this move. That's a disgrace. You feel me? That's a disgrace. And I pray that my Ghanaian, you guys can ensure that this man is kicked out of office so that somebody who is there for the benefit of the people of Ghana and Africa in general can stand in place. Because until we do that as Africans, they gonna keep doing us like this. And there are so many presidents in Africa just like this clown. There are so many presidents in Africa just like this man is. They will talk that big talk, but in secret meetings, they would say stuff like this. Man, give us that like, hit that subscribe button, man. Leave your comment and let's talk about this. Is this normal? Is this how we are going to achieve that one Africa spirit? I'm out of here. Peace.
Creation, reaction, God. Big up TRB family. Misterjaay, I see you. I know some artists don't do this. God bless you and your family.